When American firms look to China for business, they first look to me. If you have a problem, no one else can help. It might just be a job. China Uncensored. Welcome to another episode of China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. If you're looking to do business in China, just make sure that none of your employees like money and/or sex. Don't worry, that just limits your hiring pool to anyone not part of the human species. If you do happen to go ahead and hire a human, you might find out that that cute Chinese business you're in bed with might just throw a few $1 million and a truckload of women at some schlub employee in exchange for your company's secrets. I know, who would have thought that a country that has no scruples torturing and killing its own citizens also wouldn't have very strong business ethics either. That's what Daniel McGahn, CEO of American Superconductor, found out the hard way when he realized that his biggest Chinese business partner was, in his words, out to kill his company. It's being called nothing short of corporate homicide. American Superconductor makes a computer software that controls the electrical output from wind turbines, and their biggest client is, or rather was, the second largest wind energy supplier in the world, Sinovel. Sinovel was created in 2005 by the Chinese government and, despite going public in 2011, remains at least partially state-owned. Sounds like a match made in corporate heaven, but it was a short honeymoon. Around the time of going public, Sinovel hired former American Superconductor employee Dejan Karabasevic, who was working as chief engineer in its Austrian office, to steal its software and email it to Sinovel executives in China. In exchange, Sinovel promised him a $1.7 million contract and a Beijing apartment complete with access to however many women he wanted. But don't worry, he didn't forget about his girlfriend, a Vietnamese flight attendant. Sinovel execs would wire money into her bank account as well. Once Sinovel got its hands on the software, they refused to pay for $100 million in past shipments and $700 million in future contracted shipments. The loss of Sinovel as a client, along with the $800 million, caused American Superconductor stocks to fall 42%, and of its almost 900 workers around the world, 60% were laid off. Overnight, the company shrunk to a third of its size. What happened to American Superconductor is just one in a long string of economic espionage cases that cost the American economy up to $300 billion a year and millions of jobs. That's according to a report by the Commission on the Theft of American Intellectual Property published in May. So Mr. Karabasevic was convicted back in 2011 for what he did. Sinovel was indicted this June by a U.S. federal court for stealing American Superconductor's technology. That's little comfort, I'm sure, for hundreds of American Superconductor employees out of a job. So what will happen now? Well, I don't know, but how much do you think a Chinese company being backed by the Chinese government really cares about what some foreign court says? So remember, no matter how attractive that Chinese business may be that comes walking into your office, just remember it's trouble with a capital T. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Be sure to take a look at some of the case files on the Facebook and Twitter page, and check back tomorrow for another new episode. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Catch you next time.